Three things you got to be willing to do, coach, if you want to claim you're building a healthy manhood in your players. Number one, you got to be willing to be vulnerable. You got to be willing to share your shortcomings and what you're working to improve on as a man in your own life, off the court, off the floor. Vulnerability is a currency that will get you more time, more ears, more attention with your players. Number two, you got to be willing to call out actions in current events in the news. You got to be willing to stay up to date in current events in pop culture and sports that are dominating your guys' minds and attention spans, and show them where ideas like victim advocacy, sexual assault prevention play into what they're seeing every day. You got to keep your ears up and your eyes open to current events. Number three, you got to be willing to budget time into your calendar. And you have this skill, you built this skill, you constantly are creating calendars and schedules for your players. You got to be willing to put in 15 minutes a week. You got to be willing to put in a couple sessions a month where you're going to create space for discussion, dialogue, growth, uncomfortable situations where they got to have some courage and some gumption to stand in there and unlearn some things. You got to be willing to put that on the calendar as something we're going to do. This is the norm here, fellas. If you're doing those three things, coach, good for you. Keep going. Love it. Props to you. If you're not, and you know you're not, and you want to be, that's why getting hold of us at Teams of Men is important and imperative that you do today. Here are three excuses coaches of men's teams and sports at all levels, young boys through men, need to stop using as reasons that they don't start teaching a healthier manhood in their program. Number one, I don't have the time. Sure you do. You actually control the time and the calendar the program operates under. You plug in all those days for weights, for films, for practice. You can find 15 minutes. You dictate the schedule. Number two excuse, I don't know what to say. Coach, you don't have to have a 40-minute speech ready. You don't have to have a thesis or a doctoral statement on the journey to healthy manhood ready. You just have to be sharing about your life, your struggles, your trials, your tribulations as a vulnerability launch point to, guys, this is as a dad where I think I can be better. Guys, this is where as a brother I think I could have been better. Guys, this is where I wish I would have been better as a husband. Those are all easy places to. Number three, I don't know where to start. Sure you do. You know where to start. You know the meeting spaces and the locations that your players exist in where they'll be the most comfortable to learn. Is at the film room, is at the team room, the locker room, the bus, could be on the court. You know that's the starting point of a conversation for the group. They're used to discussing things there. And number two, call us Teams of Men. We exist to help create healthy manhood programs and curriculum that'll help create a space and a journey for your players to take with you along with them. You work with young men as a coach in any sport, you need to hear this. Scientific studies have shown that humans in their teenage through early adult years are resistant to lecture-type education, meaning we are not as liable to digest and act upon lecture-style knowledge thrown our way. What we are likely to act upon and change our behavior based upon is modeling from someone we trust, an educator, a coach, modeling of behavior change. So if you, the coach, are talking only or yelling at or lecturing to your players about how to be a better person, a better man in the 21st century, you can be doing more and more effectively if you model that behavior.